Hi everyone, Makozi Racing International salutes you. Welcome to part 2 of the Lewis Hamilton Time Trial Challenge with Nick Makozi. And in this episode, we're going to be focusing on one track. I'm going to be trying to improve the time that we did in the last episode. We beat Lewis Hamilton in the first edition. Now we're going to try and improve our lap time and do the best we can to get into the top 10 leaderboards. So help you guys get there too. Hopefully offer some advice on what lines to take, how to approach the track, and do your best at Brands Hatch. Okay, we're going to go into the third one. And we're going to have a look at what Lewis Hamilton says about this. He has some driving tips, and this video is going to give you a small guide of how to approach the lap.
Brands Hatch GP circuit is awesome. One of my favorites of when I used to race in the UK. I used to race it in Formula 3, and obviously they used to have the Formula 1 back in the day. Much prefer this to the short circuit, which was just too short. But this has a great combination of corners and also a lot of undulation, so as you're breaking into turn 1, the track's falling away from you and it's hard to see the apex and when to get back to power. And it kind of fools you into either carrying too much speed in or getting to power too early, so that's such a tricky corner. And then you're going up into turn 2, then down into turn 3, so it's got a great combination, and the uphill and downhill really plays a role in how late you can brake or how early you have to brake. There are a couple of corners that it's all about the exit. I think it's probably around turn 4 or 5, which you're accelerating uphill, and it's all about making sure you carry speed down that straight. But it's got a great combination of fast-flowing corners, which I'm sure you're going to love, so make sure you enjoy it.
And there we go, we're going to try and enjoy it. We managed to beat Lewis last time out, but only by less than a tenth. You can see our time was at 22.926, his time was at 22.965. If we go onto the top 10 leaderboard, that lap time is, it's 5/10 of the first guy, the 10th guy for the top 10. So in this episode, we're going to be going through how to approach Brands Hatch in the AMG GT3, how to get the best line possible, where to brake, when you should accelerate, and just in general, it's really a step-by-step guide on how you can beat Lewis's time and, progress further towards the awards that await you inside this Lewis Hamilton Time Trial DLC. So we're going to go into the event now, and we're going to look at Lewis's lap, see what he says about it. No, we're going to see how he takes the corners. We're going to stop about every few corners, go back, rewind, just to really take it very methodically, very bit by bit, so you know exactly what he's doing. Then after that, I'm going to give it a go. And after a while, if I set a decent time, I'm going to go through that too, and explain maybe what I've been doing differently compared to Lewis, seeing what else I may have learnt through my driving, and also giving you guys a heads up on what actually I utilized from Lewis Hamilton's lap. So here we go. So we're going to change it to the head cam view. I'm going to stop right there, put the telemetry on, and restart this. So I'm just going to let this lap play till the end, and then we're going to start again. We're going to go bit by bit, corner by corner. we're going to stop it right before he finishes the lap. There you go. I'm going to restart it from the beginning. So this is what we're going to do now. We're going to go step by step, see where he brakes. Just change the view so we can get a better glimpse of his brake lights and see exactly where he places the car on the track. So, just to start off here, at the very beginning of the lap, what you want to look out for is this braking board on the left, which I believe signifies 100 meters, because that one is probably 50 meters towards the apex. It kind of suits that. This is 100 meter board, so we're just going to say that this is a 100 meter board, and we just go a little bit further. You can see Lewis puts the brakes on right there. The ABS down on the left side is engaged, and he's braking. So now I'm going to play it through the corner so you guys can pay attention to how he brakes. I'm just going to restart it again. Look at the braking input on the left after he goes out there. He has that initial brake, which is kind of somewhat sharp. See, he's starting to put some input in. Further, further, further. He's reaching the 50 meter mark. He still doesn't have the brake all the way on. And by the time he's around the 50 meter board, he has already gotten to his maximum braking strength. After that, he's doing what's called trail braking. So he's taking off the brake. He's still braking, but not quite as strong. And you can see he's just letting the car, giving it a bit more freedom to turn while still pulling his speed down. See, he's maintaining that constant braking, staying somewhere around 50% input, 55, and just lets it off with just a little bit of steering, really nurturing the car into the corner. And then the moment he touches the apex, which is here, he takes off the brakes completely, doesn't go full acceleration just yet, waits for the car to straighten up just a little bit more. And once you can see that safe exit on the outside using the asphalt or the concrete on the left, that's right outside of the curb, then he starts putting the foot down on the throttle. See, high WDP. For this first corner, you want to brake, so in short steps, you just want to brake at this 100 meter mark. That's where you want to start braking. You want to be in 5th gear, you want to have a very sharp first input of brake to get that initial slowdown. Then you want to take off so that you're trail braking, you can maneuver the car better and make sure it rotates. You go down into 3rd, you hit the apex, and once you see that opening, when you feel like you can push out without touching the gravel on the outside, then that is when you let the car free. You push out, you see Lewis there using a bit of the extra part of the track, and that's usually how it works in real life too. Many of the top players in Gran Turismo Sport do that. So you generally want to carry as much speed as possible, let the car out wide, but not too wide so you don't touch the gravel. It's coming to turn 2. We're just going to watch how he gets it, and then we'll go step by step. Okay. So, coming up into turn 2, his braking point is, wait for the brake lights to come on. There we go. So it's somewhere between these two shadows, the openings in between these two shadows. It's right after this first ray of sunlight coming through, and that's when he decides to put the brakes on. So if there was a 100 meter mark board, like you can see there in the distance, there's a 50 meter mark board, it would be somewhere there. Again, he's braking at the 200 meter board. sorry, 100 meter board, apologies. And I'm going to go slowly again. See how he does his braking. Again, he's not putting it all in at once. The moment he reaches the 50 meter board again, he has that maximum braking strength. And generally that's where you want to start turning in towards turn 2. You can see he's doing that. Still full on the brakes, still going, staying in third. And now, as soon as the hill coming into the corner is easing off a bit in terms of inclination, that's when he's taking off the brake. Once again, using that trail braking to get the car to maneuver better. Staying in second gear, which is good. He's not using too much of the inside curb, not going on the grass, making sure the car is still stable, having 2 tires on the actual track. Yeah, and he's on the edge of the curb. If you have a look here. Hi WDP, welcome. Just gonna, yep. So right there. Look at that. That's Lewis's line. That's perfect. That's exactly how you have to put the car on the inside of the track. Is right there so that the inside tires are almost hanging off the curb. They're not on the grass right just yet, but they're still on track. And that's how Gran Turismo works. They maintain full grip until the point that you touch the grass. And Lewis has managed to do that very nicely. So once again, he's keeping off the throttle, still having a little bit to not kill the speed through the apex. Slowly increasing his acceleration input. And the moment he feels like he has enough trust in the car, you see the outside curb, he pushes. Unfortunately, he loses his rear end a bit. That's because he was maybe a bit too confident in the car, was enough rear grip, and he just lost the rear slightly. But still, that was a good corner by him. So coming into turn 3, see how he gets it now. Turn 3 is a fairly difficult corner. It looks easy, but it's very hard to time the braking right. And you can usually fool yourself that you're getting it right, but you're taking a very, very cautious inside line, making sure that the car doesn't go off track. And usually you want to put a lot of trust into the car. Make sure that you can get through the corner as quickly as possible, and you have to really throw this thing onto the limit if you want to get through quickly. So Lewis brakes just before the 50 meter board on the right, somewhere where that green and white barrier pattern is. Also, you need to take into consideration that there's some elevation changes as well, so you may need to brake a bit earlier, take off, do a bit more trail braking, because if you just stamp on the brakes and downhill, all that pressure goes to the front tires, and you have a sudden increase in grip, and there's a very big chance that it's going to spin out. So you can see here again, he starts braking, doesn't quite make it to the full thing, to the full brake input. But hi everyone, Fabro, Clean, Kiki, thanks for joining guys. I'm doing fine, thanks. How about you? Just going through this lap, showing you guys how Lewis actually does it, and then I'm going to give it a try and see what I can do. So you can see Lewis never goes over the 75% of braking input in turn 3. He always lets the car hover in a way. He's always leaving that bit of room so you can get it rotated. And he really likes his trail braking. He stays in second gear as soon as he gets on the apex. He holds the acceleration, doesn't quite take it off all the way. And on the exit he uses quite a lot of curb, which is normal. But he stays in second. And he's still staying on the road. He still has his left tires on the road. Just have a look at this again. And this is again showing how much he's sticking to the track limits here. Watch this. He's on the line. You can see with his tires right there. that is the definition of track limit. Look how much of the white line is left on this front tire. He's staying there, but he's still on. And technically that's pretty much the limit. That's how much you should be able to drive with it. So we're just going to go back into that. He pushes out in second gear and goes towards turn 4. Excited to get... Oh, well, happy Thanksgiving, Clean. I hope you've had a nice little break, and I hope you enjoy this DLC. So coming into turn 4, I'm just going to stop it right there. He brakes at the 50 meter mark. I'm just going to say that. We're going to put that back once more so we can see the corner, how he gets it in one simple motion. There we go. So, you think it's possible, controller? I'm guessing that having a wheel would make it much easier. I would say so, Kiki. I'm gonna try it in my free time. I want to see how much of a challenge it would be with the control. I would say it's possible, for sure. But you have to really put a lot of effort, and you have to make sure that the lines and the exits and the entry and everything is right, just right. With the steering wheel, it's easier because you can sense the car, know when the rear is going to lose stability. But I would say it's still very much possible with the controller. So yeah, I'll do a stream just trying with the controller. I mean, I'm definitely not going to be quite as fast as I am with the wheel, but I'm still going to give it a go. See if I can actually beat them all and at least get the gold, if anything. So, coming into turn 4, Lewis brakes just before the 50 meter mark. See, he's again being very, very generous with his brakes, not putting too much on. Lots and lots of trail braking there. And he hasn't gone over 60% of the braking input. So he's just carrying all that speed through the corner, being able to rotate the car. And the way you want to get turn 4 is, you want to have slightly wider entry, then cut on in and get a late apex so you can push more and carry more exit speed and set yourself up nicely for the back straight. So you'll see here, he misses the first part of the apex. He keeps going. Lewis just keeps going. Almost hugs the inside there. And this is what I mean about late apex. Your apex on this track with this car is generally here, right where the curb, or this larger curb, ends on the inside. That's where you want to aim for your apex. This first part of the track, you take a wide entry, and then after that, you just cut in and you aim for that point and push out. That's when it's pretty much safe to accelerate. So high call. This would be a nightmare. Yeah, Kiki, all I can say, it really just takes a lot of practice. So at this point, like I said, this is the apex that you want to be aiming for. And Lewis just pushes out in second. Uses a lot of the outside curb. Coming down into turn 5, you can see this big elevation change. We gain a lot of speed, then going uphill, you're going to have a bit more grip on your tires so you can brake later. You can turn more aggressively. But it's very important to keep to the left so they have a good line as possible. So, we're going to play that again, see how he gets it on the first try. Yeah, no problem, Kiki. It's my pleasure. I'm learning something by myself as well. So, Lewis's braking point is somewhere after the 100 meter board on the left. I'm just going to stop it there. Go bit by bit. See where. So, it seems like he's braking after his car passes the 100-meter board. Like right after his rear end does that. So maybe if you're using chase cam, it would probably be when you stop seeing the 100-meter board, when it disappears on your screen. That's probably when you want to brake. You can see that he's really sticking to the edge of the track, keeping to the left, like I said. And there's still even more. You could go a little bit more to the left, and he will. As you can see, I'm just going to go a bit more fast forwarding. Just a little bit. And you see, look at that. That is very, very close, very precise. That's surgical precision from the maestro. Look how, if you went any more to the left, there's a very big chance you would have gone off track. So yeah, again, he's not using all of the brake. The only time he's used all of the brake on this entire lap, for now, has been on turn 2. You can see he's just staying there. You can see in the bottom left, he's using about 50% of the brake. It's not forcing the car too much, again, allowing it to maneuver better, taking it off as he's going towards the inside. And generally the apex is somewhere in the middle of the sustained corner, maybe a bit earlier towards the corner entry. So yeah, let's go a bit further, see where his tires are. And again, just look at that precision. It really doesn't get much better than that. That's a very, very nice line by the Lewis. I'm just going to go a bit further. And the moment he touches the curb, he takes off the acceleration a little bit. He makes sure that the car is hugged the inside. And then he just lets the car settle down a bit after going through that section. And the moment he starts getting a bit more confident that he's going to make it out, then he starts applying acceleration. So I'm just going to go back again. I want you guys to look at the input, his acceleration input, after he's braked. He takes off, he accelerates only after he's hit the apex. He lets the car settle down and hold the inside, slightly revs it on the downshift to keep the revs up, but after that, as soon as he feels sure that he's going to make it, then he pushes after the apex. You don't want to push going into the apex. That's a very big no-no, at least with the Mercedes. I'm just going to play that again, see the exit, and then we'll move on to the next corner. See, he's waiting, he pushes out, and he goes on the outside, doesn't use any of the curb. Usually you would want to use a little bit if you're able to carry a bit more speed. But what Hamilton has done here is he's really stuck to the track limits, hasn't done any risk whatsoever, and this is exactly how you want to get it. Yeah, it is incredible clean. You ever seen his trail brakes? Yeah, Zico, definitely. The only time he actually put full brake input was on turn 2. That's the only time he's done it for now on this entire lap. So it's really important to know how to trail brake in this car, around Brands Hatch of course. Turn 6, I'm going to play that, see how he gets this one. So yeah, the brakes are about 75 meters. Right there, right in between the 100 meter and 50 meter board. And again, I'm just gonna look at how close he is limits of the track. Look at that. Like the texture of the grass, he's on that limit. Look at that. Wow. Like that was even more precise than the previous corner on entry. So he's really holding to the left there, using all of the track he can without going on the grass. is really close to perfection on the corner entry. So again, he's not using full brake input. This time is a bit stronger than the previous corners. He's reaching 75, 80, and till about 50 meters, that's what he's using. Then he takes off, goes about 50%, drops it to 40% braking input, lets the car roll, and he uses a lot of the inside curb here. The right tires go over the curb and uses this kind of mesh on the right, as you can see here. And the car's lined up just right to miss the grass on the inside too. His outside left tire is going towards going onto the curb. He's just cutting it ever so slightly. If that was real life, huh? Not yet. But not yet. We'll go a little bit further. Doesn't look like he is quite yet. You see the tires bending there. He's really pushing the car to the limit. Gonna go a bit further. Yeah, here it is. Look at that. His front left tire is still on the white line.
He's drawing the line.
He's drawing a line. It's crazy. That's beautiful. Those are some beautiful lines, to be honest. And then, as soon as he passes the apex, he pushes out. Again, going to the very limits of the track. And again, just wow. You can see that's where the texture of the gravel starts. And he's still on track. His right tires are still well inside the road. This is really the definition of track limits here in Brands Hatch. So turn 7 is basically very shallow right. You want to keep it to the left, maybe more towards the middle of the track, to set yourself up nicely for turn 8, which is a very fast right-hander. Watch that again, sorry. So, where does he brake? Still on the acceleration. And he brakes about 70, 65 meters. You can see the 50-meter boards up there. But before he goes on the brake, I think he takes off the acceleration a little bit. So the uphill slows him down. See, again, he's really being careful with the brake input there on the left. He's not going over, he didn't even go over 75. He's really trying to emphasize how important trail braking is. And let the gravity do its job, basically, with this car. Push the car down, have more grip, let it rotate better. Basically, as soon as you start turning in and you reach the middle of the road, at this point of the corner, that's when you change down from 4th to 3rd. Keep going, hold in 3rd. And he takes off the brake just before reaching the apex. And again, this is alluding to trail braking, but in a lesser sense. It's trying to get the car a bit unstable. It's trying to throw it off balance slightly so that the outside tires have more grip, because the more stress that you put on the outside tires, the more force is pushing on the road, and there's more contact, and it means he can actually corner faster. There we go. For this corner, Lewis probably just missed it a little bit, so that's one place where he can improve. But nonetheless, still very good lap so far by him. On the exit, you want to be very careful. Always modulate the throttle on the exit of this corner. Never go flat out if you don't feel safe. If you modulate the throttle, make sure that you don't go too wide. The moment you start straightening up here, you can see the road, just naturally taking the straighter line, that's when you can be sure that you can put the acceleration on. Yeah, so the next one we're going to watch this. on, yeah. So, see where he brakes after turn 8. He stays in third gear, and he brakes again somewhere around the 75 meter board. Yeah, somewhere around the 75 meter board. He stays in third gear, utilizes the engine braking, and this is the second turn probably in the entire lap that he's gotten near max braking strength. And again, he's just a lot of trail braking to get the car turned in on time. Takes off the brake, doesn't have any acceleration put just yet. He has like a very small pause, and then you can see there on the bottom right he puts some acceleration on. Goes on the inside. Once again, is really pushing the car to the limit. That left tire is almost going on the grass. Yeah, basically, you want to let the car kind of throw itself on the inside, let the tires do the work. And as soon as you pass that apex, then you accelerate. It just pushes out. Use the curb on the outside, but don't go too wide, like Lewis has done. And then coming to the last corner, just have a look how he does it now. So that's how he does it. Just going to go back and see that again. So again, 75 meter mark, in between the last and the second last braking board. See what his braking input's like. As soon as he passes that 50 meter board, that's when you want to start turning in. And this is now the third time he's using almost max input on the brake. So it's important to get the car slowed down for this last corner so that you can get a better line, be able to maximize the exit. He's going towards the apex, just touching the curb. Usually in Gran Turismo Sport you can cut a lot more to the right and you don't suffer any loss of grip, but in real life this is the line you would take. So yeah, pushing out, you want to stay in third gear for this last corner. The moment you kind of see the exit and drop down, that's when you want to push in third, because if you go too fast, you're going to end up in the gravel, or you're going to touch a bit of the grass on the outside here, and that's just going to ruin your rear end and mess up all the hard work you've done over the course of the entire lap. And towards the end of the lap, he just holds the right, shortens the length towards the finish line, and yeah, that's it gets a mega lap, of course. So here we go, we're going to try this now. And what we've got like 20 minutes to try and improve our time. So I'm going to be a bit quiet, guys. Generally you want to have the brake balance set to the rear. So there we go. On our first try, we didn't beat him.
No way. How did you do that?
We'll still have to finesse this a little bit more. We missed that corner. There we go, we improved the time.
No way. How did you do that?
It's still not the top 10 in the top 10. So we're gonna keep improving this. And we're gonna try and maybe get into the top 10. We need another 2 tenths to make it in there. Hi Fan Esport, welcome. Just trying to improve our times in the Lewis Hamilton Time Trial Challenge. Hi Bernal, nice to see you again, mate. How are you doing? It's been a while. It's been like a month, yeah. How have you been doing since the motorsports games?
No way. How did you do that?
Yeah, this lap wasn't too great, but there's definitely room for improvement. Yeah, it was a good result, Bernal. Thank you. Thank you. I am proud. Definitely. We missed you in the team though, Mercedes-Benz. I really wanted you to be there. Maybe, you never know, maybe next year. We should suggest to have 4 drivers. You never know, it'd be great to see you again at a live event, because you've got a lot of speed. Yeah, this lap is a lot better. It's 22.5.
No way. How did you do that?
It wasn't bad. We made some mistakes. The first sector was a lot weaker than our previous one, previous best lap, so there is time to improve there.
It was only in the fourth.
Yeah, we're about half a tenth away from getting into the top 10. Another 30 thousandths. Oh, yep, going too hard into that one. Yeah, pushing a bit too much on the exit there. Still in front of Lewis though. Turn in on time. And we caught the grab ball. Yeah, we're going to restart that. See what we can do this time. Yeah, but no. I think if you really try next year, you should be able to make it for live event 100%. Be it for nations or for manufacturers, I'd love to see that. As long as it doesn't interfere with your real racing, it should be fine. So far we're in front of our best time, but we've got a worse exit. Just that corner a little bit. Oh no. Yeah, that's what I meant. Pushed a bit too much on the exit. We didn't get the luck we needed to improve the lap. So if everything pans out for next year. And I hope so too, Bernal. Just you've got some speed under you, mate. I know that much. When the race goes your way, you can drive very well. You handle pressure great. Improving right now. That was close. Oh no. Yeah, we carried too much speed unfortunately. Missed the apex on the right. driving a lot more now. Oh, okay, a bit too much speed through there. Yeah, we got greedy on the exit. If we could get a better exit here. Ah, 3,000's off.
No way. How did you do that?
That was close. We could have definitely got into the fours if we didn't make those mistakes. Give it another few goes. Oh no. No. That was weak. Try that again. Got like what? 5 more decent tries in us. That was a lot better this time. Look at that. Outside ghost behind us. We've got a better exit. This should be about 10th and a half. 2 tenths. There you go.
No way. How did you do that?
So 22.3. That is not bad at all. Let's see where it stands on the top 10. So how about that, guys? First in the world. That was a mega lap, I have to admit. We'll see what the maestro has to say about it. Yeah, we're gonna save this lap. Yeah, that was great. Top time in the world. There we go. We're gonna see what the maestro has about that. What he thinks about it.
Woo! Congratulations on achieving all diamond times on all tracks. I'm super, super impressed. It took me forever to get those laps, just so you know. So it is very, very difficult, very complex. Obviously, having to use all your skills, you know, finding the right braking balance, finding the right braking points, the turning points, hitting the right apexes, and just having that consistency. So trust me, I did plenty of laps. So happy that you've done it. What I would just want to say is that if you use what you've used to deliver those laps on those multiple tracks, if you use that in your everyday life, that determination, that drive, and that sheer will to improve and be the best you can be, I truly believe if you use that same focus, you can really achieve incredible things. So make sure you apply that to your everyday life, because that's what I do. And that's why I'm able to do all the different things as well as race. So I just want to encourage you to do that and be the best you can be. But until then, I've got to go away now and try and beat your times. But I want to say thank you for playing. Thank you for your consistency and your energy. Take care and keep driving hard.
driving with the best. So, that was a very nice lap. We're currently first on the world leaderboard, as you can see right there. And there were some questions last stream that people were asking. What do you get for completing this time trial challenge, or getting all the golds, all the silvers, all the bronzes, and all the diamond? First, what happened is that when you get the bronze in all of these events, as you can see here, there are 10 of them, you get the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT3, my apologies. You get that and you get a notification like, congratulations, you got an all bronze trophies in the Lewis Hamilton Time Trial Challenge. When you get all silver, you get this car here, the Mercedes-Benz Sauber C9 from 1989. And once again, you get a notification. You've got all silvers in the Lewis Hamilton Time Trial Challenge. When you get all golds, you get the Lewis Hamilton's championship-winning Formula One car from 2017. Get another notification that you've got all golds. And when you get all diamonds, you get a special Mercedes-Benz AMG VGT, the Lewis Hamilton edition of it. So I'm just going to show you guys how it looks like, the VGT. And I have to say, it looks pretty good.
And also increases the credit.
And also, alongside getting this car, you also get an increase in the credits. So if you can see up there, if you can see up there where the credits are, where it says 100 million, it used to be 20 million. The prize that you get for completing everything on diamond difficulty, I believe, is that you get an increase in the limit of credits that you can have in the game. So previously it used to be 20 million. Now, for all the English versions of the game, that's going to be increased to 100 million credits. So you can spend that on acquiring the expensive 20 million cars that you may have missed out on, or buying something that you've always wanted to get in Gran Turismo. And these Lewis Hamilton time trial challenges, they offer a lot of credits. It's a very nice way of getting those very sought for cars that you've always wanted to get. Yeah, you don't get it. This is what you get basically for the DLC. You get this very beautiful car, get the chance to face Lewis Hamilton, to give you tips on how you can approach your lap. Basically, just how to approach driving in general. It's a very nice guide, I think. I'm happy if I could help you guys in learning how to take Brands Hatch in the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT3. I hope you guys enjoy some success. Hopefully beat Lewis Hamilton for sure. That would be great. And you guys can go off and say, I beat six-time world champion in Formula One. But yeah, see here the beautiful Lewis Hamilton edition of Mercedes-Benz VGT. I'm gonna leave it here, guys. I'm gonna be actually doing some more streams after this, and the further episodes, these next parts of the Lewis Hamilton Time Trial Challenge, they're going to be on different tracks. So you can see here, I spent the entire stream focusing on Brands Hatch. We analysed Lewis's lap, we saw the tips that he had to give us, and then after that I went out and tried to do a top 10 time, and as you could see, we got the fastest time in the world. So this is just more motivation to do better in the next ones. And I hope you guys stay tuned. Enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, or your morning, wherever you may be. And until next time, driving with the best.